It's all go here today, boys and girls. Got Charlotte out there sanding down the boat. We got Delilah over there looking gorgeous as normal, right Delilah? And then we have now got Free, my lad, from Freeze Cycle. Freeze Cycle, never mind. A chest freezer. Big chest freezer. Oh God. Right, so I reckon we've got here 20 inches. Oh God. By about 42. And there's a little step there, but not, you know, withstanding. I think I should easily get 6 corny kegs in there. Easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, who knows. I've looked at a few of the various different freezer, what do they call it, Keezer, kegs in the freezer, never mind, on YouTube, and what people tend to do is build a frame around the outside and then take the lid off and then put the lid on top of the frame. So if that's what other people have done, that's good enough for me. The theory is this sits between the base of the freezer and the top. Now I really should have run this through the table saw first, because these joists are not, I don't know if you can see, they're not all the same width, sorry, which then becomes height. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I might try and lift this one up and then just when I stick it on, chuck a load of gunk under there. But it's a bit of a sort of budget. Beautiful summer's day. How's that? Harry, you don't want to see the canal. You want to see how far I've got with the, whatever it's called, Keezer. Left the frame overnight to set. I used some pocket hole screws in there to hold it together, and then loads and loads of wood glue. And as a friend of mine says, hi Simon, wood glue is stronger than the wood itself. Well, we'll see about that. So now what I will do is start varnishing it with varnish, and then drill some oils. And here's the thing, I don't quite know, where did I put it? It's here. STC 1000. And do you know what's weird? I mean, I paid a few quid for this, but these are on sale. You can buy an STC 1000, whoops, get in, for 99p on eBay. And normally what would happen is you'd cut a hole and mount it in here, you see. But I'm wondering whether or not I should just mount it there like that, because it's not something you need to use on a regular basis. You set it and forget it. I don't know. The reason is because the tolerance is on there. If you get the hole, if you cut the hole ever so slightly big, it might look a bit naff. Oh, that's been an interesting day. I decided now, against my better judgment, I should have put that there, inside there, but I decided to put a hole in it here. And the reason for that was I watched a YouTube video from, I think it's New to Homebrew Tom, something like that anyway, who I think's fairly local as well. Smashing channel, I'll put a link to it if I remember. I'll put a link to his channel underneath. And he did one of these Keezer things. A lot posher though, he used a new freezer and stuff and did it right. And he put it in there. So I thought I'll put mine there as well. And I did a template and everything, and then of course I fucked it right up. So yeah, obviously, but you know what, fuck it, so what. Let's see, give it another coat of varnish, and then tomorrow the kegs arrive. Another day, another delivery. Today we got the stuff from, there you go, little advert for them. It's a story behind ordering all this, but I won't bore you with all that at the moment. It's not Johnny's fault at BrewKegTap. It's eBay, not eBay, the other one, you know, PayPal. Right, so anyway, in the fullness of time, our little Keezer here will have 7 of these kegs in. I measured it, and so that would be 6 here, another one here, and then space for a couple of CO2 tanks there. I have drilled accordingly. Now, because there's only going to be 2 taps in there in the immediate future, I've drilled 7 25mm holes. 25mm is the same size as a halfpenny, so this is a 1967 halfpenny. I'm going to fill those holes just as with the halfpenny as a blanking plate, just to look, I don't know, you know, whatever the term is. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yes, we have progressed to the point of having a beer. This is the fairly critical bit now. I've taken the lid off, undone it from the back. I've rubbed all of the edge here down with glass paper, and then squirted on some adhesive, this stuff. Next, we take this, boom, 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 and stick it, boom, 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 on here. This could go badly wrong. So let's see whether I can get it to work. It's one of those moments of some trepidation, but it not only fits, but it's in the right place. I'm a bit worried because these type of adhesives are known as fairly high grab. In other words, you don't get an awful lot of wiggle room, but I had enough to get that on there. So next stage complete. Now what I'm going to do is pop the lid on and stick some weight on top to squish it all down. A lot of weight. These are pots of ready mixed concrete stuff. A lot of weight. Next I'll attach these back on, and this was something that I did actually check. I was quite proud of myself checking, was that would stretch up enough, whoops, to go where it needs to go there. All attached nicely. Essentially all we've done is put a spacer between the lid and the body. Because I'm only putting 2 taps in at the moment, there's 2 holes left, and the other ones are filled with these halfpennies from 1967. There will eventually, obviously, as I get the money and the inclination and a thing, there will be 7 kegs and 7 taps in there, and the CO2 and the spare CO2. Yeah, coming together. In the magic of video editing and interweb, the next thing you see will be after the weights have been taken off. Oh, it seems to have worked reasonably well. Now when I planned this in the earlier video, you'll have seen I got the idea of 7 kegs and then put the gas regulator over here, and I'd planned for the gas tank to be secured just on here so that it didn't flop around a bit. Now unfortunately when I did that, I actually planned it, oops, there we go, so the regulator would go that way, looking at the regulator that was going to be sent with a kit. Now unfortunately the kit came with another regulator which has got the alternate profile, so in other words, instead of sticking out to the left, it sticks out to the right, this one, so you can adjust it. But BrewKegTap, Johnny at BrewKegTap, is going to swap it out, so it's just a temporary inconvenience. It's going to have to be fairly quick. I'm going to send that back today, which means I won't be kegging this weekend. I'm going to leave the 2 brews that I've got in the fermentation fridge for a few more days. They're sort of going to be ready Sunday. They can wait till Tuesday. I'm going to order another keg anyway, so yeah, but I'm quite pleased with the way this has turned out. The lid sort of comes down, but I think I'm probably going to need to put some kind of catch on it. I don't know, I'm not happy with that, so I'll put a whatever thingy catch on there to keep it down. I'm not sure why it's done that. I suppose there is a potential for adjusting there, but again, I don't know. I might have a little play in a bit, see how I feel about it. It's an irritant, but I mean, it was weighed down really well. We'll see where we go with that. I've got the STC 1000 in. I'm going to wire that up in a minute and give it all a final test. The wiring is complete, and really all I've done is put the STC 1000 in line to switch the live to the fridge. The neutrals, the herbs are all joined together, so I've taken power from here inside through to the STC 1000, and then a little jump into the cooling side, then another wire back which joins the live, which goes to the fridge. Very, very straightforward. There is a heating circuit in there as well as the cooling circuit. I'm not going to need to use the heating circuit. This Keezer is simply for keeping the kegs cool. So a little catch on there to hold everything down. Inside, everything is now connected. And just to test it with this regulator, I've put a chain around the CO2 tank because they are dangerous if they fall over, and it's also wet if you open a tap with your foot underneath it. Whoops. Yes, I should save that for the outtakes, but I'll probably leave it in. Here we have the CO2 goes down into a splitter and then up into the connectors, and then the grey, G for grey, G for gas, black, B for black, B for beer, comes out. There's about 1.5 meters and it goes to the tap. One thing I couldn't work out was why the grey connectors have got a little black insert and why the black inserts have got a little grey insert. I'm sure somebody will know. This has been running now for just over an hour. It's down to 1.7 on the STC 1000. Everything seems to be working hunky-dory. So pretty much going to call that finished. That light's got a dodgy connector to it, so the light might flash, doesn't matter. Still things to do is mount the probe properly. I'm going to put some computer fans in to move air around, otherwise you're likely to get like mini sort of different temperature pockets. This will be swapped out. I'll put this in as a temporary. I would have kept this to save Johnny having to pay to have it sent back and all that sort of thing, but it is a bit of a bodge as it is like this. I don't really like it. I prefer it to be round nicely as it should be, in line. And the other thing is, with my old aged arthritic fingers, this is a pain to set the pressure, whereas the Kegland Mark IV has got a much bigger knob. So if it weren't for my arthritis and the fact that it sticks out the wrong side, I think I would have kept this. But ow, do you know what I've just done again? Knock that straight onto my foot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm happy that we have a working Keezer. So that, boys and girls, is a wrap. If you've enjoyed this nonsense, or if it's helped you, please click the little thumbs up thing likey button. If you think the stuff I do on this channel is worthy of your time, please consider clicking subscribe. I don't know what any of that means. It's just what somebody else said. If you're going to put something on YouTube, ask them to click like, even if they don't, even if they think it's rubbish, and ask them to subscribe to your channel. So that's what I've done. But I won't be offended if you don't. That, boys and girls, is my Keezer. Thank you.